Michigan's Upper Peninsula is one of those places many consider to be a hidden gem. And really, how could it not? You've got the innate beauty of the area, a rich mining history, and plenty to do if you love the great outdoors. Coupled with the unexpected lure of finding something unusual in small towns and cities that dot the landscape, you've got the perfect setting for adventure. Thus, with no set destination in mind, we head for Upper Michigan, hoping to land somewhere that is unlike anywhere we've been. What we ended up discovering on this impromptu road trip is sure to wow you. I know it did us. Wow, that's gotta be a record.
What's that?
We're on the road and it's before 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that is a miracle in itself.
Hey sightseers, Sightseeing Sally here. I'm with Marty, and you might be wondering what's got us up so early in the morning that we're actually on the road before 10 o'clock. It's really nothing special. It's just after coming off the Thanksgiving holiday, it is now Wednesday, and I still need to film a video for the week. I know, talk about procrastination, but the last couple of days it's been super cold out, and we're still here in Wisconsin, as if you couldn't tell. So today we thought we'd pack up the puppers and head out on a little bit of a mini road trip up to the UP, or Upper Peninsula of Michigan, for those of you who aren't familiar with our lingo. As you can see, we've stopped off at Quick Trip to quickly fuel up. And Quick Trip, if you're not familiar with them, they're basically Wisconsin's version of a Buc-ee's, in that they're very popular among the locals, but they're not nearly as large nor as, well, kind of crazy like a Buc-ee's. And when I say not nearly as large, I'm talking about their actual physical location or the size of the store. Not to mention, Quick Trip does not carry its own line of merch. Although, if you're out there listening, Quick Trip, you could start your own line of merch and, really capitalize on that. People would probably buy it, right, Marty?
Darn right.
I know we would. But Quick Trip would need to come up with some kind of cute mascot first. What do you think, Marty? What would be a good mascot for Quick Trip?
Walrus? I don't know.
Oh, Buc-ee's is using a beaver, and I don't know how many beavers are over in Texas, but we could go with a walrus. Tasmanian devil.
Kookaburra.
Kookaburra, oh yeah. Aren't those the birds that you hear always in, like,
jungle movies, or movies that are, like, based in the United States, and the sound they make is
like a monkey.
Like a monkey. They use it for a monkey, and there's no kookaburras or monkeys in the United States. Then again, there is some loose in Florida for the last 80 years.
Yeah, but the kookaburra is actually indigenous to, like, New Zealand or Australia, so...
Like a kingfisher in Australia.
So I don't know how they ended up using that for sound effects here in the United States. But anyways, I was thinking, when I said Tasmanian devil, I was thinking more along the lines of Leo.
Satan is more like Leo.
We discovered Leo's got some resource guarding issues with yak cheese, of all things, because he isn't like that with anything else, only with his yak cheese, and only with certain pieces of yak cheese, may I add.
And only with certain people.
Yeah, you. Leo's issues aside, he really is a good little dog. We're traveling north on Highway 141 and just going to see where we end up.
Rolling the dice.
But we're not stopping at any casinos, Mom and Dad.
I always get robbed at the casinos. I never win.
Loser.
What?
That's why I don't gamble. There's always a good chance you're going to lose. We're coming into Niagara, the city of scenic beauty. One of these days we're going to have to come up and film a thing on Niagara. It's located right along the Menominee River and just really beautiful scenery up here. Plus they have a waterfall in town. And not to mention, the town itself is very proud of its history, and I was able to dig up a lot of info on the town. I just haven't gotten around to coming up here to film. We're officially now going to be crossing over into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Yep, there's the sign, "Welcome to Pure Michigan." Looks like this part of Pure Michigan has a bit of snow. Although, not a whole lot. Considering the time of year, I thought there'd be a lot more.
We're an hour from Superior, there could be a lot more snow there.
So what you're saying is I should have worn my snowsuit?
Might need a shovel.
Leo'll need a shovel.
We learned when we lived on Lake Michigan, if the wind is right, we could get a lot of snow. And then 10 miles west, they have nothing, and we got like a foot of snow.
That's true.
When you're near Lake Superior, same thing.
Called the lake effect. Snow or not, at least we've got blue skies today and the sun's shining. And it's warmed up some. It's 36 degrees. Way better than the 18 we saw yesterday. What's up, Beagle? Do you want something? Are you looking for a treat? We're coming up on Ishpeming, and to my right is the Yoopers Tourist Trap and Rock Shop.
Oh boy, let's go.
Yay! I know where we're at. I think I've been here before.
Yeah, are we gonna drag more rocks home?
If I recall, I didn't drag home rocks last time. I brought home Bigfoot socks.
Alright.
But I can always use another pair of socks, so. Plus there's free bathrooms, free admission. Seriously, what more could you ask for?
Did you notice that the sign says bat rooms, not bathrooms?
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. I wonder if that was intentional or if that was a boo-boo.
Well, we'll find out.
Hey, look, Marty. It says Hurley, Wisconsin. 3 cases of road pop, no bush calls. What's a bush call? Oh, is that bathroom breaks?
Yeah.
I've never heard a bathroom break being called a bush call before, but we are up in the UP, so I'm not surprised. I think we would have called it go watering the trees.
How about a PBR Christmas tree?
Oh, look at that.
Half blue ribbon. Somebody probably went blind drinking all them.
Well, I was going to say, point out the
leg lamp.
the leg lamp.
It's actually a real bone.
Is it really?
It looks real. I'm assuming it's from a whale.
A whale?
They call it a dinosaur. It's got to be a whale bone.
What would a whalebone be doing up here?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of neat. I'd probably have one if I could get one.
Well, they're saying that it was dug up when they were digging for their new septic system, so maybe it is really legit.
Got me fooled if it is.
Personally, I love the old Christmas animatronic figures. They remind me of my childhood. There used to be this house in Manitowoc, Wisconsin that we would go look at their Christmas display, and they had it where it was all animatronics. It was just the coolest thing ever. I think if I remember right, it was set up as Rudolph's workshop or Santa's workshop. I just found something for Marty.
I need one of them.
Could be your Christmas present, or an add-on to your Christmas present. Oh, here we go. Stay groovy. Might have to get these so I can add them to my VW bus collection. Oh, and then I found socks for Marty. Let's see how he reacts when I show them to him. Marty, I found you some socks. A lot of neat stuff in here. This is one of those places that if you ever get to Ishpeming, you have to stop and check it out. I mean, where else can you find the original poop toss game?
Well, let's get out of here and go see what they got in town.
Yeah, we should probably check out first, though, don't you think? Before we move on from De Yooper's tourist trap, I want to point out just a few things. First, they have plenty of room for parking, even for RVs. Next, you can see really cool stuff outside, like Big Gus's chainsaw, some old vehicles, and the Ishpeming pump. You can also get your picture taken in the big Yooper chair, play De Yooper internet mileage meter, and visit the world-famous Rock Knockers Rock Shop. By the way, did you know it is 4,158 miles from here to Helsinki, Finland? Are you griping that we spent $22 at the gift shop? Well, I had to get those socks, and then you wanted a couple of stickers, and then I got a pin for my hat, and next thing you know, it's $22.
I bought a $2 sticker.
That's all you bought?
Yep.
Oh. Whoops. Well, our next stop is the Ski Snowboard Hall of Fame here. Excuse me, that's the U.S. National Ski Hall of Fame and Museum. And it looks like this might actually be a historic site. Let's go check out the sign first, and then we'll see about going on inside the museum. I don't know if there will be a charge or if they're even open today. The short version is that the National Ski Hall of Fame and Museum is located here because of Ishpeming's historic role in developing skiing. The long version is that Ishpeming was the location of the very first ski club here in Michigan and one of the first in all of America. The ski club was formed in Ishpeming in 1887, and they held their first public ski meet on February 25th of 1888. The longest ski jump at that point was 35 feet, and since then they have produced many famous ski jumpers who have gained their experience on the renowned Suicide Hill. Unfortunately, however, we won't be able to go inside and get a tour. I just found out that they closed at 2 o'clock, and not realizing that, I'm still on Central Time Zone, and here they're an hour ahead. As it turns out, a very kind man by the name of Justin was outside, and he's the director, and he allowed me to come in real quick just to film a few things while he's here. These are some of the people that have made it into the Hall of Fame for either skiing or snowboarding. And it's really neat because you can read a little biography on each and every one of them. And then over here you've got some of the old skis on display. And then you've got trophies for Paul and Walter. I'm not going to try and pronounce their last name though. And then you've got other displays like this one on the National Ski Patrol. It's pretty neat, especially if you're into skiing. Me personally, I have never gone downhill, and I've only been cross-country a few times. And if that was any indication as to how well I would do downhill, well, there is a reason I haven't gone downhill yet. Well, that was pretty neat. Something I just realized as I was walking back to the car is that the museum was built to look like a ski jump. How cool is that? By the way, if you're wondering, I didn't show you everything inside the museum only because I know that the director had to get home because he had to take care of his kids, and I really didn't want to take up too much of his time, and he was gracious enough to allow me to go in and just take a quick peek. So anyways, we're gonna move on. There's a downtown we want to see yet before it gets dark. But before we do that, I wanted to point out the mural that's painted underneath the train bridge. You can see a reference to Suicide Hill where the ski jumpers trained. A snowmobiler and a couple of people downhill skiing. And then on the other side, you've got some sled dogs, 2 people on a toboggan, and a couple of people coming back from ice fishing with their catch. And if you didn't notice, they're also wearing snowshoes. I love it. We're touring a town that's known for its winter sports, and we're doing it at the start of winter. Well, you're ready to go check out the downtown?
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, we are in mining country up in this area. There's a bunch of iron mines. Hence, you'll notice that this area also happens to be rather hilly. Kind of like, what was that, Rosie Claire in...
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Rosie Claire was really hilly.
Yeah, and it just kind of reminds me of that, but maybe not quite as dark. I said Rosie Claire was dark only because on the day that we were there, or one of the days we were there, it was pretty gloomy and cloudy. Unlike today where the sun's just shining away. On our way to finding the downtown, we got sidetracked and ended up over here at Lake Bancroft Park. Now what's neat about the park, besides the fact we were able to stop and let out the dogs, is that from here you can see a number of iconic Ishpeming sites, starting with a historical marker talking about the Cliffs shaft mine, and remnants from the old mining days of the Cliffs shaft mine, along with a nice view of the lake and all the houses overlooking it. Not to mention, if you look up there off in the very distance, you can see a flag blowing in the breeze on top of what is a huge stone bluff. Reading the historical marker, I discovered that the Cliffs shaft mine was the largest producer in the nation of a hard specular hematite, a kind of iron ore. Apparently this mine was one of the largest of Michigan's iron mines, and over 26 million tons were mined here. Pretty cool. Let's see if we can get a little bit closer to... I saw some old mining equipment that they had staged out, I believe, next to what would be the mining museum, which is probably closed, and that's okay. But let's see if we can get closer to some of that and see what's there. Well, look at that. How would you like that to be your view out your front door or your back door? For those of you who like to follow along on Google Maps, we're over at the corner of Spruce and Ridge Street. And these are all leftovers from when the Cliffs shaft mine was still in business. After taking a little detour, we finally made it over to that area that I was talking about that I thought we should come check out closer. And you can see as part of the museum, they've got all the old mining equipment staged out here. Plus you got the mine itself in the background and buildings related to the mine. Plus they have several historical markers talking about like the Italians on the Marquette Iron Range, the Swedes on the Iron Range, and a memorial dedicated to the Barnes Hacker mine victims and their surviving families. Because as we know from other videos I've done in the past, the mining industry is extremely dangerous and not without its share of accidents and lost lives. This particular accident occurred when the explosives fired off and the explosion opened up a VUG, a huge natural tunnel in the earth, which connected the blasted area to a swamp located directly above. Immediately, the swamp disappeared, and in a matter of minutes, the entire mine was destroyed by all the swamp water, mud, and debris that showered upon it. 51 souls were taken, and these are the names of those whose lives were lost that day. As fun as it would be to look at all the equipment here and have Marty give the rundown on them, I think we need to move on, especially because daylight only lasts so long up here in the Northwoods when winter's upon us. Before we head into the downtown, I just wanted to show you some of the houses here real quick. There's a lot of large homes, and some of them have some really neat architectural details to them. I think this one here is my favorite. And then you have this Presbyterian church over here that's also pretty unique. Not to mention the fabulous view of the downtown from up here. And check this out. They have a Carnegie Public Library here. Apparently, this is the second oldest Carnegie Library in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And then just down the street, you have this rather imposing building. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I think it might be the Mather Inn. Yep, it's the Mather Inn, and from what I could tell from doing a quick search, it's on the National Register of Historic Places. It used to be a rather famous hotel that's been now converted into apartments. And interestingly enough, it once served as housing for the cast of the classic movie Anatomy of a Murder. Oh wow, I don't know if you can see that, but off in the distance is something rather unique. I wonder what that is. I'll see if Marty will take me for a drive over that way. There's a lot to see here. I didn't realize how big of a historic downtown Ishpeming has. I don't think we're going to get to all of it today because we are quickly running out of daylight. Well, we ended up driving only about a block and a half because if you look off in the distance, you can see the church, the Presbyterian church I pointed out, the old historic inn that is now apartments. But I didn't want to show you that. I really just wanted to show you Jack's Teepee and the Congress Lounge and pizza. Because, you know, if you come to Ishpeming, you're going to want to know where's the best place to get a pizza and maybe catch a drink or two. Not saying I know anything about their pizza, but they have been around since 1934. And for me, when it comes to pizza, I'm game to try anything at least once. And if the Teepee bar is advertising that they sell happiness, well, you know, why wouldn't you stop? And then across the street from Jack's Teepee, you got Miners National Bank, which I'm guessing has been around for quite some time. And they got a really unique looking night deposit. Looks just like a bank vault, doesn't it? Now here's something else that's unique to Ishpeming that you won't find anywhere else. And that is the statue of Old Ish. Erected in 1884, it was originally painted black and had 3 drinking fountains. A spot for humans, horses, and dogs. With Christmas around the corner, it's no surprise that the town has their Christmas decorations up. Look at this one. They've got Santa's workshop here and a miniature mailbox for the North Pole Express Post. Very cool. I bet you the kiddies like coming here. Oh, look! Ah, it's Cornelius! One of my favorite characters. Rudolph is one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. I just love that one elf that wants to be the dentist. What was his name again? I'm getting old. I can't remember. Wow, I wish we would have gotten here earlier. We're running out of daylight, and this main street is really neat. We've got the old Butler Theater over here, a number of shops over here in these buildings. There's an Oddfellows building here on the corner where Susie Q Antiques is now located. And then you got this building here. I have no idea what it used to be, but holy mackerel. Is that something else or what? This is that point in time where I wish I would have done a little bit of research ahead of time, but I didn't. So we're left here wondering, what's the story with this building? Other than I can tell you it has to be historic because of this little fancy emblem. This is one of those towns where no matter where you're standing, you always have a view of something. Whoever laid out the city knew what they were doing. We're getting closer to that odd structure. From here, it looks like an egg beater. Marty said it was likely some sort of wind turbine, which, if that's what he says, I'll take that. And then right up here, alongside the Gauthier Insurance Building, you have this really neat mural paying tribute to the mining community. And last but not least, City Hall. And with that, I think I'm going to bid you adieu. My phone is ready to die, and my hands are froze solid. Until next time, this is Sightseeing Sally.